Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody that basically all the love on my previous episode or my first episode. I kind of started this as like a little bit of an experiment to see what you guys thought of me starting a podcast, and there was an overwhelming amount of you that just gave so much love to it, like the amount of downloads it's had and rates, and also just it was so lovely seeing so many of you resharing the podcast on your story, even like showing me like where you were listening to it. So a lot of people were listening to it on the train on the way to work, or people were listening to it while mucking out their horses. So carry on tagging me in your stories. I'll love to reshare like a few of them because I had so much fun just like going through your comments and my DMs, seeing what everyone was saying. But yeah, thank you for all the lovely comments. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of a different one because I thought I'd kind of recap you on what I've been getting up to lately, because life has been a little bit wild. It's been very different. The country girl has left to the city. I've been in Birmingham and I've been in Paris recently, so I thought I'd talk about that. I'm also going to another city this weekend. I'm going to Belfast and Dublin for my book tour, so I'm sure I'll be talking a little bit more about that in the next episode of what I kind of got up to. But anyway, where should I begin? So I thought I'd start off talking about what I've been getting up to with the Cottage, because you all love the Cottage updates, you know, what I've been getting up to. And as I said before, we've been doing a lot of painting recently, and something that I've kind of come to the conclusion of is that I am an angry painter. Now, I'm not like an angry person. Like, I feel like I'd never get angry. Like, if I'm ever have like a discussion with someone or I'm not happy about someone, I am a crier. Like, I don't know what it is, but if I'm upset about something, I don't get angry. I just cry, which probably isn't the best when I'm trying to get my point across about something. But for some reason, I am an angry painter, and I don't know if it's because I, like, especially with things like painting, I do them very quickly and maybe not as carefully. So I have to be very strict with myself while I'm painting, especially things like the wooden panelling in the bathroom. I had to be very careful with that because I would, at the beginning, I did everything a little bit too quickly, and then, you know, the paint starts running and it looks not so good. So with a roller though, I can go quick, bam. You know, you don't have to worry about the paint sort of running as much because the sponge on the roller kind of soaks everything up. So yeah, I kind of came to the conclusion that when I'm rolling, I just do it very fast and I press really hard as well. So by the end of it, like, I had so many blisters on my fingers and like my arms were aching and my back was aching too. I don't have a very good back, especially with the ceiling. I feel like the ceiling, I'm probably the most, I want to say, like, I don't want to keep saying angry because I'm not an angry person, but with the ceiling I probably had the most sort of grit, just because painting ceilings, it's more than a workout. It was a horrible process. I'm so glad that I've almost finished all the painting now. I think I've got one more ceiling left to do, which is in the hallway, and that's pretty high up, so I don't know if I'm even going to be able to do that, if I'm going to be able to reach. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a short person. I'm 5'5". I normally say 5'6" because I feel like 5'5.5" is just a little bit too, you know, specific to say, so I kind of round it up. But no, I'm like kind of average height for a woman, I guess. But I'm gonna have to get a big pole to do the ceiling. Although I did have a pole for the downstairs living room, but I did break it from my angry rolling. I don't know what it is, but yeah, when I'm rolling the ceilings, you just have to have a bit of anger to get it done, because it's like, oh my goodness, this is like, my arms are aching, I'm tired, I'm gonna have to keep getting off my little step stool and getting the paint going up again. But to get through that process, like, I'm making it sound like painting a ceiling is the worst thing ever. There's a lot worse things in life than painting a ceiling, but yeah, I just get a bit angry. Anyway, enough about the Cottage, enough about that. That's what's been happening. We've got someone doing some brick slips in the fireplace, so I feel like that's going to very much transform the room. But anyway, back on to me leaving the countryside. So as I said, to start with, I thought I'd talk to you about my sort of wild 48 hours of being in two major cities. So started off in Birmingham, and that was for the National Equine Show, and this was the first ever show the National Equine Show have ever done. I mean, they are the people that sort of organise the National Running Show and the National Cycling Show, but it's the first time it was ever like a horse show, and it was also quite different because there were no horses involved. So before the show, I think everyone was a little bit like, oh my goodness, what's this going to be like, kind of thing. But actually, I think it was so well run. I had a lot of fun. I think people really enjoyed it as well. It's like a good time of year being in, was it March? Yeah, March. I'm losing track of time here. Life's been a bit crazy, but yeah, it's in March, which I feel like is a good time because I feel like the equestrian world really kind of goes to sleep as soon as New Year rolls around. Like as soon as Christmas is done, a lot of the horse shows, like winter horse shows, kind of finish. And even like I know a lot, as I was talking about in my previous episode, like the January, February, Marches, or the JFMs, when horses just get a little bit spicy, a little bit excited that time of year. I feel like a lot of people, especially like the eventers, give like kind of just turn their horses out, don't really ride them, or a lot of people that have their horses in like hire work or full work kind of reduce the hours that they're riding their horse, that kind of thing. So also we know this because I'm like a little bit of a nerd when it comes to like data analytics, that kind of thing, at the channel of my social media, that kind of thing. And something that we know from Google, if you search up the term like horses, there's this like little data thing that you can look at. And we know that the term horses that's searched up on Google, which is also YouTube, plummets, or like people just don't search it as much in January, February, March. So that's quite a cool little piece of information. But anyway, I thought it was a really good time of year for the horse show because I feel like end of March, that's when everyone's kind of, or March, spring's around the corner, everyone's kind of starting to crack on with their horses as like the event season starts again and a lot more shows are happening and the weather's just generally a little bit better here in the UK, or should I say not as bad as it is in the winter. Like we have the mud season here, we're on clay, and pretty much from end of August, if you're lucky maybe November, to me and my dad, we have a bet on it every year. We always say, like, try and guess what will be the day that we roll the fields, because there's like one day, or like maybe 1 or 2 days where we live, where the fields are perfect for rolling or harrowing or any that sort, basically flattening it down. Because if you do it too early, then the tractor will get stuck in the mud and it will just be a disaster. But if you do it too late, then the ground's already hard. It's concrete. You know, you're using this heavy old roller, but it's not going to be flat. So yeah, as soon as it's rolling day, we're like, oh my goodness, action stations, it's rolling day, get the tractor out, go, go, go. So yeah, I'll let you know on my social medias when it is rolling day, because I feel like that for me, or that as an equestrian, is the first day of spring. But anyway, back to the National Equine Show. So yeah, it was a really good time of year to have a show. There aren't many shows in March that I can think of, and it was really nice. They had like a big old shopping area that you could go around, and it was really nice. I got there very early. I was like there 8 a.m. before the doors were open, so I kind of had like about an hour to zoom through the shopping area, have a little look around, say hi to some of my sponsors, that kind of thing, get photos. And then the majority of the day I was doing meet and greets, although it worked out really well because right at the end of the day I had 2 different talks. One was on a panel where I was talking, I think it was something called like, so you want to be an equestrian influencer or something like that, which was really fun because I love talking about my job. It's obviously, you know, I love talking about horses, but it was nice to be on like a panel with people that also do what I do. So it was really nice talking to Georgia and everyone else. And I feel like when I go to shows like that, I always get along so well with other sort of equestrian social media content creators, because we all kind of do the same thing, and not everyone kind of understands like the ins and outs and I don't know, just like the behind the scenes, and we can all like relate to a lot of stuff that we go through. And I think in the panel we were talking about sort of the ups and downs, that kind of thing, but obviously there are so many more positives that outweigh the negatives, and I'm very, very grateful to say what I do. But no, that was really good fun. And then I had like a little fireside chat with Rosie Tapner. I've met her quite a few times, we're quite good friends. I think last time I saw her was at Blenheim, so that was really nice. Had a bit of a little catch up beforehand and had a little chat on the stage. But oh yeah, I also had a meet and greet there as well. I say a meet and greet, I was pretty much meeting and greeting throughout the day, but I did have a nice lunch break. I had a really nice security guy that made sure that I had toilet breaks, which doesn't normally happen at my meet and greets. It was so well organised. I feel like I always get really nervous when it's somewhere that I've never done a meet and greet before, because there have been a few times in the past where things have got a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. So when I ever do like a meet and greet is somewhere new, it sounds bad because I don't want to be that person being like, oh my gosh, like so many people are going to come, but everyone always underestimates how many people there are. So I always make sure, like, I try to be like, okay, we need to make sure there's a queuing system, we need to make sure that everything's done fairly, and they listened to me really well, and that was really nice. Like, everything was taken on board, and it was so well organised, and so that was incredible. That was such a fun day, very exhausting, but really good fun. But yeah, as soon as I finished my chat with Rosie, which was the last thing I was doing, we had a bit of a Mission Impossible, a bit of a, okay, we need to get to the airport, because I was invited to Paris Fashion Week with Stella McCartney, which, still saying out loud, does not seem real. And I think it was kind of like not a last minute thing, but the way everything was organised, because I knew I was doing like the National Equine Show way in advance, and that was on the Sunday, and then the show with Stella was on the Monday, so it was literally one thing after another. And the team from Stella emailed me being like, look, can you make it? And we were like, oh my goodness, like racking our brains, like how on earth are we going to get from Birmingham to Paris in how many hours? I think, yeah, it was about 4:15 that I left Birmingham, and I think we got into Paris in the end about 1 a.m, and the show started at 9. And then obviously before 9, I needed to have all the time to sort of get ready and makeup, hair, outfit, that kind of thing. So we were looking on all the different websites for flights, like how are we going to get there? So there were no flights from the Birmingham airport or any airports like up north. So we're like, okay, we're going to have to drive down south to get a flight there. We managed to get the last flight out of Heathrow in the end to Paris. If not, me and my dad were like, look, if we miss our flight or we can't get there, like, we're going to get to this show, whatever. We will drive to France if we have to. But luckily, we got there in time. The traffic was all good. If the traffic would have been bad, we probably would have been driving to France. But no, we managed to get there in time. It was all good. So we were really lucky with that sense. Also, we were like, oh, if we could, like, we were even like thinking, like, should we try and like book it with a like more budget airline that's likely to be delayed, because then like we won't miss it. But the only flight they had left was British Airways, and they're known for being quite on time. But I think the flight was on time, but we got there in time, so it was all good. Anyway, got to the hotel finally about 1 a.m, had a few hours sleep, and then I got the outfit at the hotels. That was really lovely. A lot of people actually, so many people have asked me if I got to keep the outfit. Unfortunately, I didn't. She still needed the outfit for like extra shows or extra things, and it's not like it was made for me either, because it was all like a bit of a last minute kind of thing if I could come. So but no, to be honest, I don't think I would have had any other opportunity to wear that outfit. Like, nothing would top going to that fashion show wearing it. Like, where am I going to wear it? Like, I'm not going to be wearing it, out to the horses, out to my local pub for lunch, Anyway, if you didn't see the vlog, I would recommend watching it. I don't want to be that YouTuber that's like promoting their stuff, but you can really like see a little bit more of the behind the scenes of what I got up to, that kind of thing. But the show was spectacular. I sat there with Matt and Yessa, or Matt Harneke and Yessa Drent. If you don't know them, they are also equestrian content creators. They both live in the Netherlands. So it was really lovely to catch up with them. I think it was actually the first time I ever met Yessa, but I'd met Matt multiple times before. I think I first met him in 2019. We've crossed paths a few times at horse shows and stuff. So I had them to sit next to, and I also sat next to Stella's daughter. So that was really lovely, who watches my videos. So had a bit of a chat with those lot. I did feel, it felt very strange, because I went from sort of a big fish in a small pond, kind of at the National Equine Show, to going to a fashion show where there was a lot of paparazzi sort of taking my photos and things, but the amount of like famous people that were there was pretty wild. But yeah, also, yeah, didn't really talk much about the paparazzi. That was very weird, because I kind of turned up and then just all these people started taking my photo, which was very strange. Haven't really had that before. But I think I just told myself it wasn't like, oh, they're here to take a picture of me because I'm Esme. It wasn't anything like that. It was in my brain, the only way I could sort of rationalize it was, oh, they're taking a picture of me because I'm wearing Stella's clothes, and obviously they can, see the Stella outfit and the bag and that kind of thing, and they're like, oh, she must, Stella's dress, so she must be important, kind of thing. So there was this one guy, and he was like, oh, can I take some photos of you in the road? And I was like, okay. So there was one point where I was literally standing in the middle of the road in Paris, and this guy was like taking photos of me and videos and that kind of thing. So I was a little bit worried I was going to get run over, but it was all good. But yeah, I just walked on in, sat down, found Matt and Yessa. They were sitting next to me, and Yessa was actually really cute, because with my outfit I did have a coat, but throughout I decided in the end, even though it was quite a chilly day, I decided not to wear my coat because I wanted to kind of show off the outfit. And I didn't realise that, we were going to kind of be, I wasn't sure if we were going to be inside or outside. We were kind of, I was going to say we're outside, but we weren't. We were in an indoor like horse arena. So it's not like it was heated or anything like that. So, but I think because I was like, I don't think I'd say nervous. It was like, that sort of weird nervous excitement where you're just like buzzing. Well, anyway, I think because I was just so excited, I didn't really actually get that cold. I think I just had the adrenaline pumping through my veins that it was all good. But no, anyway, Yessa kept offering me his jacket, which was really cute. But anyway, yeah, we watched the show, which was absolutely fantastic. First time ever at, a fashion show. All the pieces were really beautifully designed, and we were all sitting there being like, oh, that looks like that, and that looks like that, kind of how the fashion was incorporated kind of into equestrianism. And of course, at the fashion show, there were horses. So they kind of had to keep it very top secret that there was going to be horses at the show. I knew before, which was very cool. So anyway, it was really nice because I think a lot of people had been at Paris, or a lot of people that were there had been like at Paris Fashion Week like the whole week. It was near the end of the week. They'd probably been to so many shows, and it was so funny because they'd probably like been to thousands, and then there was me like really excited, like first ever fashion show. Like for them it was probably going down to your local supermarket, but for me this was just crazy. But yeah, it was so nice seeing when the horses came in, like everyone suddenly like their spirits lifted. They were like, oh my goodness, like started smiling and not cheering, but everyone was like, oh my goodness, like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, like that kind of thing, which was lovely. It was also really nice to see that they did like natural horsemanship and how it was a really good part of equestrianism that was kind of broadcasted to the media. I think a lot of people, especially that aren't horsey, that maybe live in towns or cities, don't understand that horses at the end of the day are domesticated animals. It was also really nice to see in the performance that the horses like lied down, because if you're not horsey you wouldn't know that, but if you're horsey you know that horses are prey animals. They are flight animals as well, and for a horse to be lying down in such a sort of in a position where they're so vulnerable, they would only do that if they feel really safe and they feel they must really trust also the trainer that was with them too. So that was really incredible to see. It was so well done, and it was also nice how they brought the fashion to the horses rather than the other way around. So the arena that they were in, I believe, is the second oldest like riding school in Paris or in France. So that was really cool. It was in like an indoor arena that we were in. I didn't feel bad for the models because that's their job, that's what they do. But I felt bad when like their heels were sinking into the sand, because they were obviously walking along the sand arena, and walking in heels in a sand arena, you'd never think, they were kind of sinking a little bit. But yeah, they all looked absolutely stunning, even if their heels were sinking in the sand a little bit. And yeah, the lady that I was in like email contact with, she said, oh, like make sure that at the end of the show you wait there because Stella wants to say hi and that kind of thing. I was like, oh my goodness. She was like, I kept getting emails being like, Stella's so excited to meet you, I'm so excited that you're coming to the show. And I was like, girl, I'm so excited that I'm invited. This is wild. So I had a really lovely chat with her. She came over, I was like, hi, Esme. I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But no, she was really, really lovely. I had a little bit of a chat about the horses, about the show, that kind of thing. And so very, very lovely lady. And yeah, just a very mind-blowing, wild experience, to say the least. But yeah, and then straight after that, it was like, okay, we need to get home now. So after a bit of lunch, walked to the Eiffel Tower, got to the airport. Actually, on the way to the airport, we were like, okay, let's get the train to the airport because the traffic was really bad. We actually accidentally took the wrong train out of Paris, so that wasn't great. Even though I got an A in my GCSE French, it failed me. To be fair, I think I was so tired. I was gonna say jet lagged, but there's like an hour difference in France. I was just so sleep deprived. There we go, that's the word. That yeah, I accidentally I was at the right platform, got on the wrong side, but there we go. We managed to get off the train, got back to Paris, then got the correct train to the airport. And yeah, we needed to kind of race back because we needed to kind of get back to Joey, doing work with him, because he's kind of I was going to say he's in rehab. He's not really in rehab, but we did all the rehab with Joey when it came to like walking and things on the ground, just because I know he's the sort of horse where as soon as I kind of got back on him, he would be raring to go. He'd be wanting to trot. He would be wanting to canter, and obviously he wasn't back about a month ago now. I think it's been a month since I've been riding him. I kind of kept that a little bit, not quiet on my channel, but I had like previous videos that needed to get out first, and then it took me a while to film and edit the video that was going out announcing that I was riding him again, because that was also kind of like a bit of pressure as well, because I know that there are people being like, oh my gosh, you're babying him too much, why are you taking everything too slow? And then there'll be people that will be like, oh my gosh, you're like going way too fast with him, you're rushing him too much. And I think at the end of the day, like in the equestrian world, there'll be so many different people that judge you for whatever you put out on social media, and I think not everybody knows the full story. And for me, with my horse, I'm taking all the advice that from like my trainer, from my vets, from my physios, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like we've taken Joey at the right pace, and we did all his rehab work kind of like in walk, getting him moving again after he was still on box rest at the time, because a lot with Joey's injury was down to his wounds healing. Like he couldn't go out in the field in case he got an infection, so we kind of had to wait for those to heal. And it's not like there was any internal healing either, because he didn't hit a tendon. But anyway, I talked a lot about Joey's recovery in my previous episode, but he's doing really well. I've been riding him for just about a month now, obviously taking everything nice and slow, doing some walking, doing some trotting. We're now finally at the stage where we're doing some cantering, so he's been doing really well with that. It's not so much like because we did all the, as I said before, rehab stuff, like getting him moving and feeling good again in the walk, in the arena. But now it's kind of like, okay, he's fully healed. We've got the all clear from the vets. Like he's looking fab. It's just getting his fitness back. So that's why we're taking things slow, not necessarily because he's got like an injury that he can't bear weight on or anything like that. Like he's got the all clear. So no, that's been going really, really well. So I should really try and get another update video out soon that I've been filming today. Actually, I had a lesson today, so that was really good fun. But no, I just keep being so surprised at how well he's sort of taking it. He literally feels like my normal Joey. So I never thought I'd say that, but that's incredible. Actually, after that, I had a really nice chilled week. I was going to say I had a week off. I didn't have a week off. My parents went away, and I was also going to say a house sit, but I'm actually kind of living here at the moment. So I was just living here and being with the horses, that kind of thing. So I had a lot of editing to do, but I had like a week off filming, and I had a week off like business meetings, that kind of thing. So it was lots of just like creating content myself at home and lots of editing. I thought I'd talk a little bit about like what my average day is, because I get asked that a lot. And honestly, like as I said before, like it could be going to Paris Fashion Week or mucking out the stables. Like it is very varied what I do in my job, and a lot of it is down to like what the weather is like. So if it's proper raining, then I probably won't do that as a filming day unless like I'm in an indoor or something. That will probably be more of an editing day. So a lot of the time, like if someone's like, oh, can we have a business meeting or that kind of thing, I'll like check the weather and be like, okay, when's it gonna rain? Or like in the winter, if it's dark, I'll be like, can we do like 4:00, because that's when it's dark. So I'm not gonna be filming then because there's no light, unless I'm doing something like this where I'm kind of inside. But anyway, so it is very, very varied, and I feel like it was quite nice to have like a more chilled week. Just spending time with the horses. I mean, I still was working, as I said before, but also my boyfriend's parents were away at the same time, so we had the dog here at the house all the time. Or if you didn't know, my boyfriend has a really cute dog called Ruby. She is a golden lab or yellow lab, or she looks white basically. She's not a very yellowy lab, but she is very cute. It was very fun just walking her every day, playing games. Like a lot of people have always asked me like, will you ever get a dog? I would love to get my own dog. Right now I'm quite lucky in the sense that Ruby kind of like, I know she's not my own, but I treat her like she's my own. She's just adorable, and she had so much fun like coming up to the horses as well. Like while I was mucking out, she would just kind of poodle around, sniffing around. She loves Duke's toy. Duke has this like, actually it was Joey's toy to start with, and then Joey got a bit bored of it. I don't know if anyone else's horse like this horse toys. To be fair, we gave him so many other like toys and treats and things while he was on box rest. Like he didn't mind losing that one. It's like a little ball with a handle, and we gave it to Duke for a little bit because Duke's been going through like kind of like a teething phase. So Duke is my horse from Old Horse Welfare. If you didn't know, he's a little Welshie, and he is teething at the moment because he's around 2. I think he was born around like May, June 2020. So he's coming up 3. Is he coming up 3? No, that's crazy. But anyway, he hasn't lost his baby teeth yet. And usually apparently horses lose them around age 2, so we've been waiting for this for a while. So he's been not bitey, but he's been he's in that kind of baby horse I want to chew on everything phase. So we decided to see if he liked Joey's ball, and he loved it, so that's been in his stable for a while. So as I was mucking Duke's stable the other day, Ruby came bounding in and was like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing since sliced bread. She loved that ball, which she is one of those dogs where she will destroy most toys. Like most toys, they're gone. So I don't know if that's a Labrador thing or a Ruby thing, or just, some dogs are like that. They just, any toy is like, let's destroy it. But no, so she had a great time. I mean, I think she found it a little bit difficult to wrap her chops around the ball because it was obviously designed for horses, not for doggies. So she squeaked a few times, getting a little bit frustrated. But when she realised that there was a handle, she was carrying it by that, and she had so much fun. I would play with her in the sand school. I mean, I still do, but I was playing with her in the sand school. And I brought all her toys out. So I brought her frisbee out, which she loves. She has other kind of things too. And no, her favourite thing was Duke's toy. I'd throw her frisbee, which normally she absolutely loves, would do anything for her frisbee, but no. Her Duke's toy, Duke's ball, that was it. That was her fave. So we had a good play in the arena with that. Also, something else that I've had a lot of questions about is my hair extensions. So I thought I'd talk about this just because so many of you have asked about it, especially being a rider, how I wear it with my helmet and all that kind of stuff. So I've wanted hair extensions for a little while, it was actually kind of not a big risk, but I actually went to a different hairdresser's to have it done literally the Friday before I went to the National Equine Show and Paris Fashion Week. So it tied in well because this new hairdresser that I had, I was like, look, do you think you can do it in time for Paris? Because that would be incredible. And she managed to get it all sorted, get the hair and that kind of thing. But yeah, I've been wanting to have it done for a while. My previous hairdresser didn't do hair extensions, that's why I went for a new hairdresser. So I felt like a lot could have gone wrong, but she did an absolutely incredible job. I am in love with it. But yeah, as I said before, I wanted hair extensions for a while just because I naturally have really thin hair. And when I was really young, I've always kind of wanted long hair, but my hair is just that sort of hair type where it doesn't grow beyond a certain length. So decided, you know what? Give it a go, see how it goes. Obviously, a lot of questions I've been asked is about the maintenance and how it's a little bit more maintenance compared to your normal hair, that kind of thing. So I have tapes. If you're wondering, there's 2 different types. You can get tapes, or you can get, I can't remember what they're called because obviously I don't have them, but they're they look like little beads or little bands. Are they called bands? But my hairdresser also, she rides, so she recommended tapes for a horse rider just because they lie flat. Obviously this is audio, so you can't really see, but yeah, she's blended them in really nicely, so you can't see them at all, and also you can't really see where my natural hair begins and the hair that's hair extensions kind of begins and ends and that kind of thing. Obviously, sorry, that I really messed that up. Obviously, you can see. Obviously, you can't see where my natural hair ends and this hair extensions sort of begin, so she has done a really good job of blending it. Also, one of the other reasons why I decided hair extensions would be good for me and my job is because a lot of the time if I'm getting ready for photo shoots or filming or that kind of thing, obviously you want your hair to look good, so I would use heat. Not all the time. I was very heat conscious about not using heat on my hair because obviously it's quite damaging, but now a lot of the time, especially if I just want the ends to be straight or that kind of thing, I'm using the heat on not my hair, the other hair, so that works out really well. I also have found because you're not supposed to wash your hair as much with hair extensions, and at first I thought that was going to be the most difficult thing because I was a wash my hair every other day sort of girl, and now I'm on a wash my hair every 5-6 days. It depends what I'm doing. There maybe the last, I know that sounds really gross, and my mum is she's one of those people that washes her hair quite regularly, and she was like, oh my gosh, Esme, that is disgusting. How can you leave your hair that long? But if you put a bit of dried shampoo on your roots when you go to bed, it kind of soaks up a lot of the oils. Well, that's what my hairdresser recommended, and it seems to be working. But often, like I feel like I've been doing it kind of like a midweek kind of wash. So if I have something going on at the weekend, like my hair's all nice for the weekend. And then like also what I've been doing lately, I've been doing a lot of painting. So I've just been putting a bit of like oil in my hair and doing a bit of an oil mask and basically just putting my hair up in a bun on the last kind of few days before I wash it, because I've been painting, and that was one thing I keep forgetting, that I have long hair. Like as I was painting, I got there was one point where I got a little bit of paint in my hair, so that wasn't great, but I managed to wash it out. It was all good. It was a water soluble paint, so it was all good. I'm trying to think of other questions that I got asked, because like even my friends, when they saw my long hair for the first time, they're like, oh my goodness, like asking all these questions. I mean, I wear my hair to bed at the moment in two like little braids or plaits either side, and I posted a picture on my story. I think it was the night I was flying to Paris on my story of my hair like that, and somebody, I think it's because I had dried shampoo on my roots as well, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, because I only had big dried shampoo, like in a big old can, and we weren't putting any luggage on the plane, we just had hand luggage, so obviously you can't take big old can of that through passport control or security kind of thing. Not passport control, can't put that through security. So anyway, I decided I'd spray my roots, because you're not supposed to rub it in either, you just kind of spray them and then kind of like leave it. I mean, I think I did rub it in a little bit because I didn't want to look like weird at the airport. I mean, I feel like at airports you can get away with anything. Like there'll be people drinking at 5 a.m, there'll be people dressed up in a full-on suit, there'll be people dressed up in their pajamas, or dressed down in their pajamas. So to be fair, in an airport anything kind of goes, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna rub in that dry shampoo a little bit. So yeah, put my hair in two braids, and someone replied to my story that I look like Goody Adams. If any of you have watched Wednesday on Netflix, that's like her great, no, sorry, I don't mean to spoil anything, but great relative. And yeah, that's what I think every night when I go to bed and put my hair in two braids or two plaits. I think Goody Adams, there she is. But apparently it's also quite good to have it in like a side ponytail. Maybe I'll do two little bunchies, I guess, because at first I was just a little bit nervous because I'm not used to it. I think at first I was very like gentle and very like I still am very gentle when it comes to brushing it, but at first I was like just a little bit too much, but now I'm a little bit more like, oh yeah, just give it a bit of brush, that kind of thing. Also, you're supposed to use like sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner, so that's what I've been using. It'll be interesting to see like of my natural hair, like its health, if it improves or gets worse, because I've heard like mixed reviews with hair extensions. I've heard quite a lot of people say that hair extensions have like saved their hair because they're not washing it as much, they're not, using as much heat on it, and it's actually like grown underneath. A lot of people have also asked me how long I'll be keeping them, or how long like they have to be redone. I think they have to be redone about every 8 weeks. I think the the BD plastic, I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Not beads. They're definitely not beads. The ones that are in like little bunchies that are not tapes. I think those can go a little bit longer. Tapes, it's better to have them done more regularly. So I think, yeah, mine get redone. Well, they will be. I haven't had them redone yet. I haven't even had them 8 weeks yet, but in 8 weeks they'll be redone. So hopefully that all goes well. I'll keep you updated. But no, it'd be interesting to see if it makes my hair healthier or unhealthier. I'm hoping healthier, because I've seen loads of like TikToks or videos of people being like, this was like my hair before I had hair extensions, and then they kind of let it be a bit natural with the hair extensions and it grew a little bit more. But I'll keep you updated. I think that's all the questions. The only thing that I'd say is downside is, because why I would wash my hair so regularly is obviously when you're mucking out, your hair absolutely reeks. So I've tried out a few different concoctions of trying to stop my hair getting manky, and so far wearing a shower cap works the best. You do get a little bit warm, or wearing if you have like a bobble, like at the moment it's winter, and I feel like, I'm very lucky that I keep my horses at my parents' or at home, so if I'm wearing a shower cap while mucking out my horses, I don't look like I've lost the plot. But if you go to a livery yard or a riding school, that kind of thing, and you're mucking out, could be a bit more of an interesting look. I mean, you could wear a bobble hat over the top of the shower cap, or you could just wear a bobble hat and wear up in a bun and be like an egghead. I mean, that's kind of the look I go for quite a lot. But that's that's what seems to be working for me. We'll see how it goes. There might be a point where I'm like, okay, because a lot of people ask me how long I'll have them for, and I don't know. I'm just vibing with them, just seeing how it goes. There might be a point where I'm like, okay, I'm fed up with this long hair, it's getting too annoying now, but at the moment I'm really liking it, and it's just a lot easier for filming and styling and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. Now, I feel like one of the things I get assumed about me quite a lot is a lot of people think I'm probably like an extrovert because, you know, if you've listened to this so far on the podcast, you'll know that I'm quite a chatty person. I mean, I can be chatty, but I'm also like I'd say I'm probably quite a shy person. I'm one of those people where when you first get to know them, like I probably come off as quite shy. I feel like a lot of it is just me kind of reading the room a little bit, like what are these people's sort of sense of humor, and that this is how all my friends describe me. And I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I'm the funniest person ever, but I feel like I'm very quiet, and then like as soon as I start to warm up, I'll just say like a one-liner and they're like, cool, this girl can chat, or like, oh, this could, like, you know, she's added to the conversation kind of thing. So I'd say that's kind of what I'm like a little bit. But also if you get me chatting about something that I'm, you know, passionate about, like horses, that kind of thing, like I've been talking in this episode, like you can't get me to shut up. So I'd also thought I'd talk about sort of like social life and things, because I feel like at the moment I'm in my grandma era, because I don't know if anybody else is like this, please say it's not just me, because as I said before, I am like a bit of an introvert. I love chatting to people, I love going out, like I will never turn out like going out with my friends. They're like, oh, do you want to go like get a meal out at a restaurant, some drinks, that kind of thing this evening? I'm like, yeah, sure, I am up for it, like as long as I'm free. Like I feel like with my work, I'm quite lucky because I work for myself. I try and work during the day because that's when all my friends are kind of working, and then I have like my evenings off. So as soon as it's like 7 p.m, that's kind of my, okay, I need to stop editing now, Esme, get away from the computer, you need to stop or your eyes are going to go square, and I'll go and like see my friends and that kind of thing. But I am also, because I am an introvert, I do get, like some people, if you're an extrovert, get really energized by, you know, seeing friends, that kind of thing. And I feel like I do until it gets to a certain point in the night, and like, don't get me wrong, my friends know that I love them, but then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to sleep. We even have a joke in my friendship group that I do this thing called cocooning. So I will literally I often have some sort of hooded thing on. Like if I have a hoodie, the hoodie is going over my head. This is often on the car ride back from somewhere, to be honest. If I'm not driving, I'm just like fall asleep. I am notorious for falling asleep in the car, or falling asleep just anywhere really. Or if there's like a blanket, like I think this is especially when we would see each other when the lockdown rules where you could see people in groups of 6 outside. So we'd all sit in like a group of 6 outside with like blankets around us, that kind of thing. Or you could only eat at restaurants if it was outside. So I think that's kind of how my cocooning phase came about. But yeah, I feel like I'm in my grandma era because it gets to a point in the night and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for bed now. Like a great night for me is if I've been out, had some fun, you know, been with my friends, and then I'm in bed before 12. Like I think maybe I think it's because of, I don't know, I feel like that just is me through and through. Like I'm not like a big party animal. I went out like a few times with my friends before COVID kind of happened, because I turned 18 in June 2019. Yes, I do know how old I am. But then like I feel like I'm not like prime going out stage, because I am definitely, obviously UK age for going to clubs, that kind of thing, going out is 18 in the UK. Don't want to get anything mixed up with my US audience or other countries where it's a different age, where it's 21. So yeah, I guess in the US, like I'm definitely not in my grandma era being 21, but I don't know, like obviously all the clubs and I don't know, restaurants, bars, that kind of thing were all closed when I was 18 or freshly 18 and didn't really go to uni. So, or even like my friends that were going to invite me to their unis and we're going to go out together and that kind of thing, but didn't happen because of COVID. And yes, one of my friends has finished uni now, so that's wild. And then another of my different friend, she's in her final year, so I better go up and see her at some stage before she finishes uni. If not, I mean, my brother's at uni, but I don't really, like, I love my brother, but you know, I don't know. Is it weird to go out with your brother and your brother's friends? I don't know. That's probably not really my kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like I'm in my grandma era. I live in my little cottage in the countryside. I love doing, I don't know, baking and just chilled, like my scrapbooking. I've got a little scrapbook. Like that is a great night in for me. Like I think because my job is so much chatting to people and talking and that kind of thing, like by the time the evening rolls around, I'm ready to just like curl up in front of the fire, make myself a cup of tea. But yeah, let me know if you're also someone who is younger and or in like their 20s and they're sort of ready to be in their grandma era, because that is definitely me. Still, I'm the first person to say yes when like my friends like, do you want to go out to get something to eat or like do something? But if it involves staying up later than 12 p.m, I will probably somehow make my excuses and go to bed, because I wake up early. Like us horse girls, we wake up early, you know, to do the horses, that kind of thing. I mean, I could never be one of those people that go out. I see so many horse girls, they go out at night, like, and then they're like awake till 3 a.m, have 2 hours sleep, and then they're jumping in a class at 6 a.m. Like, I need your energy. I am a girl that needs their sleep. So if I could have some of that, then let me know your secrets, because like on a show day, I feel like I make it such a big thing though. Like on a show day, like I need to have a nice early night. I need to have like my day planned out, knowing like when I need to bath the horses, especially having graze, platting up, all that kind of stuff. Like I couldn't imagine just rocking up being like, yep, let's go. So yeah, let me know what you're like. As I said before, I'm a chatty person. Like I love people. I'm a people person, but I do need to have my time in a dark, not necessarily dark actually, just a very quiet room on my own, just to recharge, reading my book, something like that. Talking about books, before we finish the podcast, as I said before, I'm going to Dublin and Belfast for my book tour, which is very exciting. I'm also, sorry to be that annoying person plugging their stuff, I've also got another book, I'm also doing like a UK kind of England version, so I'm going to be at Waterstones in Bluewater and also Waterstones in Piccadilly, London, which still blows my mind, because apparently the Waterstones in Piccadilly, London is the biggest bookshop in Europe. So there we go, very excited to see you all there. I feel like there will be really lovely chilled meet and greets as well, because it is a ticketed thing. There are only so many people that can fit into the shop, so I'll have a lot of time to chat with people. I hate it when there are like not that I hate it that there's loads of people. You can never complain about that. It's always very lovely to have so many people turn up, but I feel bad. I'm like such a people pleaser. I feel bad if I can't talk to people for ages and answer like everyone's kind of questions. So I think that would be really lovely, just to be like more one-to-one with people, have a bit of a chat. It's not as kind of rushed, so that would be really lovely. I'm really looking forward to that. But I've probably chatted for way too long now. I feel like we've talked about so many different topics, which I feel like is actually quite a nice thing. Like obviously I started out being like, okay, like it would be quite cool to talk about country girl leaving the city, but with my brain I go off topic quite a bit. I come up with lots of different ideas and things to talk about, which I feel like is quite, you know, that's just how I chat with my friends. I feel like the best conversations when you're chatting with someone is when you start talking about something and you go totally off topic, and then you completely forget what you were talking about in the beginning because you're just so in the conversation. But yeah, I thought like it has been really nice chatting about everything really. I feel like in like it would be really nice to have some other people like on my podcast. Like my brother's home from uni now, so maybe I can drag him into a podcast chatting about what it's like having me as a sister. Hopefully I'm not too annoying. And some of my other friends and family and other equestrians, so that could be exciting. Also, like, I feel like there's some like other equestrian topics that are really close to my heart that I'd love to talk about too, because I feel like the last two have been very much about what I'm getting up to recently, which is probably, I feel like, I don't know, maybe the most interesting. Let me know. But anyway, I'm going to be off now. Thank you so much for listening, and yeah, see you next time. Bye!